Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Simon Williams. I am a certified alcohol and drug counselor with the Addictions Certification Board of Oregon and a qualified mental health assistant. What I wanted to talk to you today about is social isolation and how it pertains to transparency. When I speak of social isolation, I'm not just talking about men and women who completely withdraw themselves from people entirely. What I'm talking about social isolation are those people, men and women, who are around community quite a bit but yet struggle with certain spiritual conflicts within their personal lives. And they try to avoid being transparent and allowing other people to see those certain areas of weaknesses in their lives. I believe that for transparency to be evident, that they must expose themselves. And so what makes these things difficult, I believe, are three major areas. One, I believe most people avoid transparency because, one, they don't want to be betrayed. I believe that somewhere in the past, many of us have shared secrets about ourselves to others, only to find out that later what we told was inconveniently shared with someone else, or somehow that information was used against us. Thus, it can cause many people to kind of venture back into social isolation. The second reason, I believe, is that many are afraid of judgment. Remember the last time you shared something of a moral failure or disappointment or a spiritual conflict with a friend and you felt judged by them? That, more than anything else, will send anyone into kind of a social isolation. Therefore, most people are avoiding transparency. But the third and final reason, I believe, within my personal experience and professional, is that most avoid transparency because they just don't want to change at this point in time. They want to continue their social interactions within communities, such as churches, PTA, or other organizations, but they're just not really ready to make any real substantial change on a spiritual level. So, most of these people do not want to expose themselves to their failures or their weaknesses or their disappointments because they truly believe that if they share these things with meaningful people, that somehow they might be held accountable. I believe that most people usually want to present a glass that's much like this. Like a glass of water, clean and clear and crisp, and can be seen through by any light shining into it. But I believe that most of us hold up a glass that's quite like this. Although the liquid is the same as anyone else's, their life is pretty much murky and clouded and can't be seen into very clearly with any light shining into it. Therefore, it's kind of presenting a darkness. But yet, I believe that most people want to present this. So, with social isolation, when you are confronted with other people who perceive to be presenting this, oftentimes this is the reality. So, I believe that the only way to actually get this clarity in life is that we first must clear out the murk in our life. So, with that, the question is presented to you, and as well to myself: which glass do I want to continue to portray? This, a clear glass of water, thus displaying transparency, or this, the murky glass, which represents social isolation? The choice is yours. Thank you for letting me share.